I know most of you guys will probably check the replay. It's a little early for you guys in North America. We are doing our weekly Q&A. And just a quick heads up before we get started. Wanted to let you guys know I'm thinking about offering, be curious to hear your thoughts. So one of the things that's been our secret weapon for years is I'm sure you guys know that webinars can work really, really well for an agency. And the Facebook ads or the YouTube ads or even Google display ads work really well. And getting people on a webinar, pre-selling them on your thing, it's really, really nice when you got a calendar full of people who are already pre-sold on working with you. We've been able to do that, and I'm going to share some results with you. And one of the things I've been able to do is shorten that, something I call a little master plan video. And a master plan is like a 10-minute kind of like condensed webinar where you just get to the point and it's just very direct. It's an offer. Here's what we have for sale. And when you get this piece right, it's really, really amazing, because then when you start adding like lead magnets and email funnels and sequences and content, and it all points back to that video, it works really, really well. But most people get that piece wrong. And then what happens is you work really, really hard. So I'm thinking about offering, and I'm only offering this for 3 people, to do a little case study of this at a very, very discounted rate, way cheaper than you would normally get anything else from me, just in order to show that it works. So if that's you and you're interested, hit me up in a private message, and I can share some details with you. We can do that and like turn it over in 24 hours. Like there's only 2 caveats. One is you have to be running some sort of ads right now for it to be useful to you. And then I also wanted to mention, if you're one of the people who's already paid me already, then we're good money-wise. So like I said, I'm doing this for the case study. So I'm doing that for somebody in the group right now, and we'll be happy to share with you guys when we get that all dialed in. So anyways, let's get to the Q&A. Alexander, those at 30K per month, how long did it take? Also, what's the #1 thing you wish you knew looking back? Alexander, I've done that like with a few different agencies and a few different things, doing it in my SEO, doing it in my Facebook ads, doing it in my Beyond agency. Typically, just so you know, there's a period of like figuring out your market and what they really, really want and your offer. And that's like the most important period. But that part is a grind and usually sucks. And usually what you'll find is, I've had it where I've had like literally starting out no sales for like 6 months, and then the minute I get the offer figured out and working, it'll go from like 0 to 30K, sometimes in like a week or 2. And you'll probably hear me say this more than once in this group, but the #1 thing is the offer. That's what makes the difference. If you have an offer, it's easier for your salespeople to present. It's easier for your ads to work. Where most people goof it up is they have another Me Too offer that's basically like, hey, we'll run Facebook ads for you. And everybody else is saying the same thing. And then they have to work really, really hard with content and outreach and all those things that are designed to like almost like cover up the fact that their offer doesn't work. So like if you get that one piece, then you'll go from like 0 to 30K, like seriously in like a week or 2. Mohammed, is anyone seeing a drop in sales since the start of August? I got little to no sales on a store with products that were crushing it. Mohammed, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there's no such thing as an ad or an offer or a product you're going to run forever that's just going to keep crushing it. Sorry, I hear my youngest daughter crying in the background. So if you guys are picking that up on the microphone, my woman's on that, but that's the realities of parenting. So Mohammed, what happens is, where most people get this wrong is they think the success is based on the product, but it's actually based on the relationship you build with the customer. So the real money is made in the 2nd and the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th product and the 6th product. And people get really hung up on trying to optimize one product. And then what happens, I see this over and over, is the same thing that happened to you, is that product stops working after a while and they lose the real assets. So to me, that's going to happen to everybody, and it has nothing to do with August or Facebook ads. Sorry, had to turn off a baby monitor. We didn't want that to be part of the fun. But yeah, so like if you're doing that, what you're going to find is you'll get really hung up in trying to optimize and optimize and optimize, and you can only optimize up to a certain point. The real money is made in like, how can I get more uses out of this customer? How can I add more value to theirs? How can I keep giving? And when you do that, you're no longer held in the box of product. You can sell them info products if that's what they need. You can sell them other products if that's what they need. You can sell them other people's coaching things, right? So the real asset that you've acquired is the customer, so don't lose that. Yehuda, I hope I'm saying your name right. Anyone else notice ads taking longer to approve? I assume you're talking Facebook, and yes, that is the Nazi censorship platform that I have a love-hate relationship with, known as Facebook. That's just part of the game. If you're looking to kind of, you know, get them approved quicker, obviously the longer your account's been running and the more happy Facebook is with you, the better, although I'm on like 4th or 5th ad account, so I'm probably the worst person to ask that too. Shika, trying to niche down some more. What are good ideas of industries to target for lead generation that won't mind paying? Well, firstly, I would say, Shika, don't pigeonhole yourself into the idea that what you do is lead generation, because that actually, like, that alone limits you. Having said that, is really anybody who has an average customer value of like $3,000 all the way up to like hundreds of thousands of dollars, it's way, way easier. And usually even within a niche, that's true. So like say you're working with a dentist, they get a lot of people who come in for a $100 checkup, and that's it. They get a $100 checkup and leave. But there's also a bunch of people that come in and get cosmetic dentistry and pay $35,000. So if you're going to generate leads, generate the ones that matter more to them. And what you'll find is they're more able to pay you. So like in the lawyer space, that was a lot of like motorcycle accidents and trucking accidents. The people I find who sell those things tend to last longer. So don't think like that there's one industry. The ones that you probably want to steer clear from are like the people who deal with a lot of volume and low value clients and don't have a back end. But other than that, almost everybody has a high value client. The simple way to tell, by the way, is just to ask somebody in their niche, which type of clients do you wish you had more of? And they'll tell you who are the most valuable ones to them. Noah, what payment processor are you using? Are you happy with it? I've used a combination of PayPal and Stripe for many years. Honestly, I think there's a lot of room to innovate in the payment processor space, but I'm not unhappy with it either. I'd love to hear some other thoughts from other people in the group, what you guys use. I don't know what everybody else is using. I just know my little corner of the world. Luca, does anybody hire freelancers long-term? Yes, Luca, that's one of the big secrets. Is like, it's crazy to me that people like get a freelancer who does a good job and then go look for a new one. I've had some freelancers, and mind you, I'm hiring them still like per project basis, but like for like 7 years. Like I have one guy who basically every time I have a tech problem I can't figure out on a website or code or whatever, named Tulsi, for like 7 years. He's a guy who's helped me fix those issues. And it's really, really easy because I just tell him, here's the issue, here's how long I think it'll take, do you agree? And we just go negotiate a price, and you know, he does it right. And when you find somebody who does like a good job, like hang on to those people, because 99% of freelancers have like a churn and burn mentality where they're basically like trying to get some money out of you and then move on to the next person, and they won't do a good job. So when you find somebody who like actually stands behind the quality and follows up, with those people, like build a relationship, stay in contact intentionally. What I'll sometimes do on Fiverr is I'll send them a little image with my email and ask them to reach out, or with my Facebook profile and say, hey, add me so we can connect. Against the terms of service, by the way, but I don't care. Keenan, who runs webinar ads with proven results? Keenan, obviously we have, but there's a lot of people who have, like, webinars are not a new thing. In the last 5 years, I know a gazillion people. The thing about it, and I'll give you a little shortcut in this, is where most people go wrong with webinars is they don't know what their numbers are supposed to be in order to be profitable. And so they're kind of flying blind. Like I've had friends say, like, I spent $1,000. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. And I'll tell you the numbers you want to hit in general to like be profitable with webinars, which is 1% click-through rate, at least 20% of the people who go to the landing page actually opt into the webinar. You want at least 60% of people to watch your webinar. You want 1 in 12, ideally better than that, but 1 in 12 of the people who watch your webinar to actually like fill out the form and contact you and book an appointment. And then you want to be selling 1 in 3 to 4 of the people who book a webinar. And that's usually with a salesperson. If you do it yourself, you should be closing like 60, 70, 80%. But if you hit those numbers, you'll get webinar results. And where people usually break down is they're getting like any kind of click-through rate. They don't know if it's good. They don't know if enough people are signing up. They don't know how much they should be paying for lead. They don't know how many people should be coming through on the webinar. When you know those numbers, you can like see where it's broken and you can fix that step. So like, for example, I've had people send me a link to their thing and I'll find that their opt-in rate is like 6%. And if your opt-in rate is 6%, you're not going to have successful webinars. But that's very easy to tell when you know it's your landing page. You can figure out that one page and that one piece. So like I said, 1% click through, 20% register on the page, 60% actually watch the webinar, 1 in 12 actually convert to a like consultation or a booking or whatever, and 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 actually convert to a sale. If you do that, you'll have success with webinars. Tom, looks like I'm going to take the leap into this full-time from October, looking for a VA to start outreach for me and set appointments. Any recommendations to get started? Tom, firstly, congratulations on going full-time. That's like a big milestone. I know for me, it took me like 3-4 years. I was full-time unsuccessfully in the beginning for many years. But when you hit the point where you can do that successfully, it's really an amazing transition because you'll know you'll never need a real job as long as you live, which is amazing because real jobs suck. No offense to anybody who still has a real job. I'm sure you know it sucks, so you wouldn't be checking out this stuff. Looking for a full-time VA. Now, here's one little caveat is spend a couple of days ironing out your cold outreach before you put a VA in charge of it, because otherwise what you'll find is they're just automating or handling your broken process. It's really, really key that you get it working. And you don't have to spend a long time get it working, whether you do LinkedIn or emailing people or doing it through Facebook groups or whatever. But don't hand somebody like, hey, just do it for me and bring you leads, because they won't, and you'll just end up paying money. And then, of course, get your offer dialed in. And if you do that, it's way easier to find a really good VA when you show up with good processes, good systems, clear intention, clear offer. They're set up to succeed. So get that piece before you give it to somebody else and automate it, which kind of sucks because I know you probably don't want to do that. It's very grunt work, but get it in place, spend a week, and then you'll have tons of success hiring a VA. My best advice for hiring a VA, give a small trial assignment to like 20 different people. So I would like little $5, maybe work for an hour for me. I give it to 20 people, and then I'd find I get 4 or 5 good ones, and then I might give a second trial assignment to another 4 or 5 more, and then I end up with 2 people that are really good to choose from, because you'll learn more seeing how they work than any sort of interview or anything like that. And so that's really handy. Asia, how much would you typically charge a client to run a Facebook ad? Asia, there's people who do that for like a couple $100 a month on the low end. I think the highest I know, like consistently, is in this group. I won't drop the name, but he's charging $7,500 per month per client. So obviously, like he's getting big results, and these are usually for people who are spending like at least $100,000 a month on their ads. So you know, his fee is small in comparison. The biggest thing is not how much you should charge. Like I would say, like $2,500 a month is kind of typical. Sometimes percentage ad spend, but it's really more like what you can generate them. What's up, brother Rob? Good seeing you, Ed. I know you're working out. Well, I hope I'm not boring you to death. But yeah, so the biggest thing is not how much you're charging for ads. It's what kind of results you can get, because that'll naturally charge or set your price. Like, you know, when you generate $100,000 for a client in like a couple of weeks, it's very easy to ask for $20,000, but if you're just charging for like leads and those leads aren't converting for them, then you're gonna have a hard time getting paid sustainably. So the biggest thing, focus on like helping them convert that and make money off of that, and what you'll find, and get their highest people, their like highest value clients, and you'll be way ahead. So like, for example, and I see this, like say somebody gets a new coach and they got like 20 people in their coaching program, the first thing they'll do is try and get more people through their webinar. And there's nothing wrong with that, but usually they got 20 people that you could be advertising to upsell into like a mastermind or something high end. And those mastermind people are way more valuable to them than, you know, like a 8-week, $5,000 coaching program, or sometimes like 3,000, or you can get somebody for like 25,000 or 50,000 a year. That's a more valuable person. So if you're going to focus your efforts, focus on like the highest value. And last one I got for today, Eric. How important is your morning routine to your success? I see my brother Rob there. He can tell you firsthand. Rob is like making his entrepreneurial success. I won't share the details, but let's just say he's in God mode compared to the rest of us entrepreneurs. And so much of that is morning routine is like, and I would say evening routine too, like not just one or the other, but getting in state where you feel good about what you're doing. For me, like it's most people don't realize this. So I wake up pretty much every day unmotivated, lethargic, not ready to be awake. And children will do that to you. But even before children, I'm just not much of a morning person. So for me, journaling and visualizing and reading some good books, it just helps me get in that flow. And then I'm way more able to like intentionally build my business rather than react to like what's coming up. So what most people do, and the worst thing you can do is the first thing you do is like check your phone, check your email, because you'll be inundated with like everybody else's priorities for the day, and you won't get done the important things for you. And I try to have a rule, which is like never check email more than twice a day, phone more than 4 times. I'm probably bad at that, but I have a lot more fun with it. It's more friendly than it used to be, where it's, you know, back in the day it was just urgent client requests. But you don't want to fight fires before you start your day. So that's the whole value of a morning routine. If you guys are interested in that little mini webinar offer, that little 10-minute master plan video, I'm going to share with you guys tomorrow some of the amazing results that we've gotten from it. But I'm just working with a few people to get that built in 24 hours. So if you're running ads and you want to kind of like make that your cold traffic convert a whole lot faster, a whole lot more directly, then holla at your brother. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys this week. It's a little shorter, but no less love-filled, so talk soon.